The wind was sharp. It cut through the air like a blade. Snowflakes fell slowly on the gray rocks of the asteroid. There was no sun here, only the cold and silence. A small figure moved behind a broken metal wall. She was young, only a child. Her skin was thin and blue. She shivered. Her name was Nira. Her mother, Velaya, wrapped her arms around Nira. She did not speak. Her eyes looked tired. Her hands were turning white from the cold. There were about 20 of them, Velari refugees. They had once lived on a green planet called Velern. It was destroyed. Now, they hid in the ruins of an old mining base on this frozen asteroid. No one knew they were here. They had no food, no heat, no help. A tall Velari named Siren stood watch. Near the broken door, he whispered to the others, "No signals, no ships, nothing again." Velaya shook her head. "We won't survive another night." Siren looked down. "The cold doesn't care." He was right. The cold never cared. Suddenly, a small beep came from a cracked device. Everyone froze. "Movement," Siren said, eyes wide. "Something is coming." From the west side. They hid, quiet, still. Nira clung to her mother. Then they heard it. Footsteps. Slow, heavy, metal. Thump, thump. A shadow moved outside. A strange voice came through the air. "Anyone alive?" The voice was deep, human. Velaya's heart raced. She held Nira tighter. "Don't answer," Siren whispered. "It could be a trick." The human voice came again. "I'm not here to fight. I saw your heat signature. I came alone." Silence. Then the door creaked. A figure stepped inside. A tall man in a thick suit, his helmet glowing. He took off his helmet slowly. A human face, pale, tired, but calm. "I'm Captain Ray Mercer," he said. "You don't have to hide." No one moved. Ray looked around, then gently placed a small black box on the floor. He pressed a button. Warmth spread from the device like a soft wave. The snow near it began to melt. The Velari gasped. A few stepped forward. Others stayed back. Ray saw Nira. Her lips were blue. He pulled off his backpack and handed Velaya a heat pack. "Put this on her chest." Velaya hesitated, then took it. "Why?" "Are you helping us?" Siren asked. Ray looked straight at him. "Because no one else will." They sat in silence as the heat pack warmed the room slightly. Nira fell asleep, safe in her mother's arms. Ray took out some food bars. "I know it's not much, but it'll help." Velaya stared. You're alone?" "Yes," Ray said. "My crew doesn't know I'm here." Command said to avoid. "All Velari signals said you were dangerous." Siren stepped forward. "Then why did you come?" Ray looked at them. "Because I don't believe everything they say." He paused. "I saw your emergency beacon 3 days ago. They told me to ignore it, said you were already gone." He looked around at the silent faces, but I couldn't just do nothing. Outside, the wind howled again. Inside, the warmth from Ray's device gave the Velari something they hadn't felt in weeks. Hope. Velaya looked at him. "What now?" Ray stood. "I can't take all of you in my small ship, but I can bring help if you trust me." Siren narrowed his eyes. "And if you're lying?" Ray didn't blink. "Then I suppose I die here with you." Silence again. Then Nira opened her eyes and whispered, "He's warm. Let him stay." The room relaxed. Vel, AY, and nodded slowly. "We will listen." Ray smiled just a little, but far above in the black sky, something moved. A red light blinked in Ray's ship. "Incoming. Transmission. Unknown source. Detected." Ray's smile faded. Trouble was coming, and the cold wasn't the worst thing out there. Ray stood outside the broken shelter. Snow crunched under his boots. Behind him, the Velari watched. They did not speak much. Their faces were still unsure. Ray looked at them and spoke clearly. "I'm going back to my ship. It's not far." He pointed to a blinking light in the distance. Small shuttle. I can take a few of you now. The rest, I will come back for. Silence. Then Siren stepped forward. You want us to leave with you? Just like that? Ray didn't smile. He only nodded double quotes yes. Because if you stay here, you will die. Inside, Valaya held her daughter Nira. The little girl looked better now. The heat pack had helped, but her hands still shook. She can't walk far. Valaya said. Ray walked to them, knelt beside Nira, and gently opened his coat. I'll carry her. Siren moved closer. His voice low. This could be a trap. Ah. Human trap. Ray's voice was calm. Then stay, but look around. The cold will not wait. Siren looked down at his shaking hands. He said nothing more. Ray lifted Nira into his arms. She was like too light. He could feel her bones. The other Valari slowly began to follow. Only 6 went with him that night. Valaya, Nira, Siren, and 3 others. The rest stayed behind, still. Afraid. They walked through the frozen dark. Stars above. Death below. And the human leading the way. As they walked, Nira whispered, Why did you help us? Ray looked down at her. You reminded me of someone. Who? Ray didn't answer. Suddenly, his wrist device blinked. Alert. Motion detected -300 meters. He stopped. Quiet, he said. Everyone froze. The snow moved behind a rock. Slow, heavy. Ray pulled out a scanner. The signal was strange, not human, not Valari. His eyes narrowed. Move fast, he said. Now. They reached his ship, a small gray shuttle hidden under a rock ledge. Ray opened the door. Heat poured out. Nira smiled for the first time. This feels like home, she said. Valaya touched the walls. It smells like metal and life. Siren stayed at the door, watching the snow. What was that out there? He asked. Ray looked at him. I don't know. But I've seen those readings before. Same ones that destroyed your world. Everyone went quiet. Inside the ship, Ray handed out energy bars and heated gel packs. He sat at the control panel and began typing. Sending a signal to command, he said. Fake coordinates, just in case they're tracking me. Valaya stepped closer. You're risking everything. For us, Ray looked at her. Not for you. For what's right. He showed her the screen. A map appeared. This place is not safe, but I know a station nearby. Old and hidden. I can fix this ship and get you all there. One trip at a time. Siren shook his head. And what if your people find us? Ray paused. Then, I lie. Just then alarm sound. Warning, ship exterior breach, south Ray jumped. Up. Screen showed a large shadow outside the ship. It wasn't human. It wasn't Valari. And it wasn't alone. Ray pulled out a plasma rifle from the wall. Stay inside, he said. Lock the doors behind me. Valaya grabbed his arm. You don't even know what it is. Ray looked at her. I don't need to. I just need to protect what I brought here. He stepped out into the cold. Gun in hand. Snow falling. A dark shape. Moved in the distance, slow, crawling, sharp. The Valari watched him from the small window. Nira whispered, Will he come back? Valaya held her close. He said, Come with me. I think he meant it. The stars blinked above. The snow had stopped falling, but the cold stayed. Inside Ray's ship, Valaya watched the human sleep. He lay on the floor beside the door. Not in his bed. She wondered, was he guarding us or himself? Siren stood at the console. His long fingers tapped over the buttons. Ray had taught him a few controls. Only basic things. Now he was trying something more. A hidden file blinked on the screen. Emergency directive. Do not engage Valari. Report all sightings. Eliminate. Contact. Siren's breath froze in his throat. He opened another file. This one had Ray's voice. Command, this is Mercer. I've located surviving Valari. Requesting immediate support and removal. No reply. I repeat, Valari survivors alive. Awaiting orders, still no reply. But the date of the recording. It was 1 day before he came to them. Sirens. Fists clenched. He turned off the screen and walked to Valaya. He lied. She looked confused. What? He told us he came alone. That he disobeyed. But this, Siren pointed at the screen. He reported us. He followed orders. Maybe. This is a trap. Valaya's face changed. A cold wave passed through her. He saved Nira. He carried Nira, Siren said. Maybe to earn trust. Maybe so we would follow. Ray stirred. His eyes opened. He saw Siren standing above him. Something wrong? He asked, voice dry. Siren didn't answer. He walked away. Valaya said nothing. Later, Ray took the 6 Valari back to the old mining shelter. One trip at a time. The others, those who had stayed behind, were thinner now, weaker. When Ray landed with the final group, something had changed. No one greeted him with soft eyes, only stares. That night, they lit a small heater in the center of the shelter. Ray passed out food bars. No one took them. He noticed. You're all quiet tonight, he said. Siren stepped forward. We heard your voice. Ray blinked. What do you mean? Your recording, Siren said. The one where you reported us. Ray stood still. The firelight flickered over his face. Valaya spoke. Did you lie to us? Ray sat down slowly. He didn't deny it. I did send that message. Siren's eyes narrowed. So everything you said was a lie? No, Ray said. But it started that way. He looked at them. I was following orders. I'm a soldier. They told me to avoid. You, report if found. He looked away. And I did. At first. Valaya's voice cracked. Then why come back? Ray's voice was low. Because. I waited for a reply. He looked up. I waited 12 hours. Nothing. Just silence. No help. No rescue. His eyes darkened. That's when I realized they weren't coming. Not for you, not for me. He stood. I broke orders the second I turned my ship around. I broke orders when I gave you heat. I broke orders when I told you to come. He paused. And I'll break more, if I have to. Silence, then Nira stepped forward from the group. She looked up at Ray. Did you lie about saving us? Ray knelt beside her. No. She nodded once. That's all I need. One by one, the Valari sat by the fire. Not fully trusting, but not turning away. Siren stayed standing. Watching. Thinking. Waiting. Far above, on an orbiting satellite. A human ship caught Ray's location. Unauthorized signal detected. Mercer's shuttle identified. Send. Response team. Back on the asteroid, Ray stood in the shadows of the shelter. He opened his log once more. Suddenly, a low sound filled the shelter. A hum. Like metal breathing, the walls vibrated. Siren stood. Did you hear that? Everyone did, then. Silence again. Ray stood up quickly. Stay here, he said. Lock the doors. He grabbed a flare and stepped outside. Outside. The cold dark, the snow was untouched. No wind. No sound. Ray lit the flare. Red light pushed back the dark. He looked around slowly. Then his eyes stopped. There on a distant ridge something moved. It didn't walk. It floated. Too smooth. Too fast. He aimed his scanner. Error. Unknown material. No life signs detected. Alert. AI structure DTTD. His voice came out as a whisper. It's not alive. Back inside, the Valari listened to Ray's voice through a radio link. It's not human, he said. It's not anything I've seen before. Siren said. Then what is it? Ray's voice was quiet. I think. It's what destroyed your planet. Suddenly the lights went out. The heater shut down. The emergency lights blinked red. System offline. Screams. Valaya held Nira close. It's inside. Someone shouted. No, Siren said. eyes wide. It's in the system. Ray ran back inside, sealing the door. It hacked the power. Smart. Fast. He opened his pack and dropped a round device to the floor. It blinked green. What's that? Valaya asked. EMP pulse. It'll kick anything mechanical out of this area for 30 seconds. Siren looked at him. Only 30? Ray nodded. It's enough to run. The creature outside moved closer. No footsteps. Just pressure. Like gravity had a mind. A whisper passed through the air. Not words. Just intent. Ray shouted. Now. He slammed the button. Flash. Silence. Everything went still. No hum. No lights. No sound. Go. Ray pulled the door open. He led them down. A frozen tunnel toward his ship. They didn't look back, but something was behind them. Something that didn't blink, didn't speak, didn't need to dot at the ship. Ray shoved open the hatch. Inside. Move. Nira slipped. Valaya caught her. Ray dragged them in and slammed the door. The lights inside flickered. Power, minimal enemy signal. Still tracking. Ray breathed hard. We're not safe, he said. Siren spoke. That was a weapon, a machine. It's hunting us, Ray nodded. It's not from your war. It's older. It's cleaner, Valaya asked. Cleaner? Ray looked at her. It doesn't want revenge. It doesn't want resources. It wants silence. No noise. No life. He turned on the ship's backup thrusters. The ship shook. Snow fell from the ceiling of the cave. We have to leave this moon, Ray said. Now, Siren said. But the others? Ray looked at him. There are no others. That thing made sure of it. As they lifted off, Nira looked out the small window. The thing below didn't chase. It just stood there. Watching. Waiting. Back in orbit. A human satellite sent one final signal. Mercer has engaged with enemy tech. Activate. Protocol 0 delete. Mercer delete. Witnesses Nira's voice. Years later. Opening flash forward. Asterisk. We weren't soldiers. We weren't strong. We weren't ready. But he made us believe we could be. The plan was crazy. It shouldn't have worked. But it did. Because it was part Valari. And part human. Asterisk. Cut to present. Inside Ray's shuttle, orbiting cold moon. Ray's hands moved fast over the control panel. Sparks flew. The ship was damaged, half blind, half deaf. We have 12 hours before that thing finds us again, he said. Valaya leaned against a wall, holding a glowing Valari core device. Warm, alive, organic. Siren was pacing. And even if we run, where do we go? The humans want us dead. That thing wants us silent. Ray turned sharply. Then we don't run. They all stared at him. We fight. Silence. Valaya's voice was calm. With what? Ray grinned. Tired, cracked, and dangerous. With this. He dropped a metal cube on the table. And that. He pointed to the organic Valari core. They hate each other, Valaya said. Our systems can't even talk to yours. Ray opened a panel on his wrist. They don't have to talk. They just have to agree to explode. Ray's plan was insane. Use Valari biotech to cloak the ship. Power it with unstable human plasma coils. Lure the enemy drone close. And overload the hybrid energy core, a mini supernova. Siren blinked. That could kill all of us, Ray shrugged. Or save whoever's left. They got to work. Siren handled the Valari core, whispering to it, bonding it with the ship. Vla stitched cables with her thin hands. Delicate, precise. Ray rewired the weapon system, took out the kill programming, made it feel instead. Nira watched them from the corner. She picked up a small broken drone, human tech. Once a scout, she pushed her fingers into the crack and whispered a Valari word. The light blinked. It woke up. Ray saw it. What did you just do? Nira looked scared. I didn't mean to. I just asked it nicely. Ray knelt beside her. Do it again. She touched the drone, whispered. It followed her hand. Siren stepped forward. She's syncing tech with mind. Ray stood up slowly. A human weapon obeying a Valari thought. He stared at the others. That's the plan now. Training montage, quick cuts. Ray teaching Valari how to fire stun bursts. Velaya adjusting the heat grid so it doesn't fry their skin. Nira commanding small drones using only her thoughts. Ray burning his old command badge in silence. That night, Ray sat alone. He opened his log. Log entry 049 Mercer. If I die, maybe I'm not a traitor. Maybe I'm just something new. They called this impossible. But impossible is just a word, and we're building a new one. A hybrid one. A LARM proximity alert. They found us. Ray stood. It's time. Valari stood too. Not as refugees now. As a crew. As a new kind of species. They launched the ship. Cloaked in Valari energy. Pulsing with human tech. Outside, the enemy drone waited. Quiet, cold, watching. Ray whispered, "Let's show it what a bad idea looks like." Inside the ship, Nira held the drone. She woke up. It buzzed softly. "Are you scared?" she asked. Ray smiled. "Always." They charged forward, faster than light, into the mouth of the enemy. Siren shouted over the noise. "It's going to blow before we reach the tunnel." Velaya checked the backup power. Only one can stay behind to hold the manual gate. They looked at Ray. He already knew. Ray stepped back. "No one else touches that switch. I started this." But Nira's voice cut through the chaos. "No." Everyone turned. She stood tall. Small but steady. "You gave us life. Let me give you time." Velaya grabbed her. "No, Nira, you're just a child." "I'm not just a child anymore," she said quietly. "Not since I touched that drone." Ray knelt in front of her. "I won't let you do this." She smiled. "But it's my choice, isn't it? That's what you taught me." Ray closed his eyes. "She's right," Siren said. "But there must be another way." "There's not," Ray said. "The gate only holds for 90 seconds after manual switch. Anyone who stays behind." Silence. Then Velaya did something no one expected. She stood up, took off her breathing mask, and placed it into Ray's hand. "I'll do it," Nira gasped. Mom. Velaya nodded. "I've run long enough. You deserve to go." Ray shook his head. "You'll die." Velaya smiled softly. "Maybe, but I'll do it with my eyes open." Ray's eyes burned, but he said nothing. She walked to the gate controls. Her hands didn't shake. She looked once more at Nira. "I want to see stars in your eyes again." Nira pressed her forehead to the glass. "I'll carry your light." Gate engage. Countdown begins as the chef shot forward into the final launch tunnel. Velaya turned the key. The gate held. The energy wave behind them slammed into the wall. But the ship made it through. Just barely cut to deep space. Silence. The hybrid ship floated. Damaged. Alive. Inside. Ray sat in the cockpit. Quiet. Siren stood beside him. "She saved us all." Ray nodded. "She wasn't the only one who would have." Nira stood near the window. She looked into the stars. She whispered to herself. She said she'd open the door, and she did. Scene opens. Human military outpost. Landing bay sirens blared. Soldiers shouted. The hangar glowed under red emergency lights. Ray Mercer stepped off the hybrid ship. His armor dented. His face covered in soot. Behind him, 6 Valari stepped onto the steel floor. Thin, tired, alive. A commander's voice roared from the speakers. "Stand down, Mercer. Drop your weapon. You've brought classified threats into human space." Dozens of soldiers aimed rifles. All pointed at the Valari. Nira stood behind Ray. Her small hand shook. Not from fear, but from knowing this moment was history. Ray raised his voice. "I have wounded. I have children. I have survivors." No one lowered their weapons. The commander stepped forward. His voice cold. They're aliens, Mercer. We told you what they were. You ignored protocol. Now they'll be treated as threats or corpses. Ray's hand hovered near his sidearm, not to attack, but to prove he'd stand between them if he had to. He looked at the soldiers. Most were young. They had been taught to fear the unknown, taught that safety meant silence. Ray shouted, "You're wrong about them. They saved me. They sacrificed more for this planet than most of you ever will." No answer, just the hum of power rifles ready to fire. Valia's voice, recorded memory, echoed in Ray's mind. Let the world remember. One human broke the rules to save us. One Vilori gave her last breath to return the favor. The commander barked, "Move aside, Captain, or you go down with them." Ray stepped forward. Just enough for his shadow to fall across the Vilari, and then, "They're with me." 3 words. Soft. Louder than the sirens. Followed was louder than the guns. One soldier, a young woman near the front, blinked. Her gun lowered half an inch, just enough. Ray saw it. So did others. Nira stepped out from behind Ray. She held a small drone in her hand, the one she'd awakened. It hovered, gently, harmless. A child, not a weapon. The soldier looked at her. And lowered her gun fully. Then the next. And another. Like ice cracking under sunlight. The commander shouted again, but his voice didn't echo this time. No one followed. He stood alone, surrounded by men and women now holding their weapons, but not pointing them. Ray spoke again, calm, clear. "We're not asking for mercy. We're offering something better, a second chance. For both of us." The commander backed away, face white with rage. "You just started a war, Mercer." Ray looked down at Nira, then at Siren, then back at the commander. "No, I just stopped one." Epilogue. Weeks later, the Vilari were given safe passage to a neutral zone. The hybrid tech was studied and feared, but also respected. Ray stood on a platform, alone, staring into space. A voice recorder blinked red. One final log. Log entry 050, Mercer. "I wasn't supposed to bring them here. But I did, because sometimes rules break people. And sometimes breaking rules saves them. The Vilari are with us now. Not as refugees, as proof that humanity still has a soul."